Eric, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. First, how's your Tuesday afternoon going?
It's been pretty good. We got a recruit in town, so we just had lunch and then came back here to do the podcast. And then we have practice after this, so just staying busy.
That's good. That's good. Well, before I wanted to get into some Illini wrestling stuff, I wanted to learn a little bit more about you because I personally don't actually know too much about you. So this would be a great opportunity. I do know you're an Illinois native. You're from the state of Illinois. Where are you originally from?
South suburb of Chicago, called Tinley Park.
Okay.
You were a Bulldog?
I was Tinley Park
All
Bulldog,
right.
actually with Austin O'Connor for a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you get started wrestling?
Probably when I was my first year. I don't really remember it. I think I was like 8 years old or something. But my dad tells me he pulled me halfway through the year because it seemed that I didn't really like it a lot. So my first full year may have been when I was like 9, probably.
Okay, so you fairly late starter in the world of wrestling these days, but not uncommon, that's for sure. So you're a late starter, but you went to the Tinley Park Bulldogs. Maybe it's the Tinley Park Bulldogs. There's an intimidating club to be a part of, right?
Yeah, and yeah, I mean there was a decent amount of good guys. I remember most of my memories are getting beat up during practice. So I don't know. I
Did,
like the Bulldogs.
did you come from a wrestling background then, Eric? I mean, did your dad wrestle? And
Yeah, he wrestled. He went to the University of Oklahoma, and then he went to finish out his years at Purdue.
nice. What years
Awesome.
was he at Purdue?
The early '90s, or maybe '89 his first year, but early '90s.
Okay. Nice.
And like I said before, you're from Illinois, but you were also a IHSA State Champ in 2016. So what was your high school career kind of like? You won state senior year. Did you place any other years?
Yeah, my freshman year, I was wrestling 138, and I took sixth. Then I jumped up to 170 as a sophomore, and I wrestled Xavier Montalvo in the finals and lost to him. And then junior year, bumped up to 195, wrestled Andrew Marsden in the finals, and I lost to him. And then senior year, stayed at 195, and I ended up winning my first and only state title.
It's awesome, dude.
You jumped big. Did you say how many pounds did you jump?
From 138 to 170.
Wow. Did you just get taller, or were you already tall and lean? What
I
was it?
was I was tall and lean. I was like 6 foot at 138, and then I may have grown an inch and went to 170. But it
Just
was like
held
a
out.
personal vow I made to myself that I would like never cut weight ever again. And I'm pretty sure the first day of wrestling practice after football season, sophomore year, I was 163, and my coach was like, "All right, so 160 this year," and I was like, "No, no, I won't cut," and I wrestled 170.
Nice.
So
Good for you, man.
Yeah, so I mean, you were a football. It says on your bio you were on were you all state football or were you on an all state football team? What was it?
all state football, yeah.
Okay, so what position did you play in high school?
Linebacker and running back.
Okay, running back, and you played for Tinley Park.
Yeah.
How far did you guys get in the playoffs?
My senior year, we made the quarters, and we lost to St. Lawrence, I believe.
Now, is the quarters does that get down to the state tournament? Like, does that get to Champaign or no?
No, just finals, I think.
Okay. For some reason, I thought I thought there was like a couple but I got
Or
you.
maybe some semis, I guess. But no, we were at St. Lawrence and we lost, so that was
I
it
get
for
it.
us.
So did you go straight to Nebraska then after high school?
Yep. I think I had 2 weeks after graduation, or maybe just a week, and then I just wanted to spend as much time training out there as possible before like season or the school year started, and also get some like summer school classes. So my workload, I guess, during the year was less.
How long what was the process like for you for being recruited by Nebraska? I mean, did they start talking to you in your junior year or?
Um, uh, may have been after my junior year, or maybe sometime during it. Um, I don't think they were too hot on me early on, but it really picked up towards the end. I would say so.
Now, I have spent some time in Lincoln. I wrestled at Nebraska as well for 1 year. So
Yeah,
in 2010, 2009, 2010, I was out there. How did you like Lincoln?
I they the guys here give me a hard time because I loved Lincoln. I loved it a lot. Thought it was great.
I always make the joke, like one thing that's super unique about Lincoln that I learned in Lincoln and probably nowhere else was I learned how to swing dance.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
Dalton.
funny that you say that. I was taught it a couple times, uh, but I didn't like do it consistently enough after being taught to remember it. So I couldn't do it right now unless I
Yeah.
was dancing with someone who was able to guide me per
Yeah,
se.
yeah, yeah. I
So
do think that is an interesting thing about Lincoln because in Lincoln, I don't know if it exists in any other place, but they have these huge dance halls that they would do like swing dancing and then line dancing and just go two things back and forth and yeah, that's the Lincoln experience.
do you remember the main place that you went to?
I don't. My roommate was a resident, like a Nebraska resident, so he kind of just yeah, I just went with him. I don't remember. But if you said the name, I might remember.
Maybe Playmore.
Nah, I don't know.
That
Yeah,
that's a big one. Like I think it's just outside of Lincoln or around Lincoln that a lot of people go there, and there's
yeah.
lots of swing dancing. Yeah.
Yeah, Eler, do you know anything about swing dancing?
No, I don't. I just know that you two guys tested your manhood by doing that, but that's all good. So is
Well,
that so Eric, is that where you met Mrs. Schultz at then or what? I mean,
Yeah,
swing dancing, stop it.
or not swing dancing, but
Oh,
at
okay.
Nebraska.
All
Yeah.
right. All right.
yeah, yeah. No, it's a unique place. One, I think, you know, what were your experiences like with the football Saturdays in Lincoln?
They were awesome. I'd say
Yeah,
I loved it, and the fans, man, they go hard for Nebraska football. It's
yeah,
like it's like a lifestyle to them. So the
yeah.
tailgating and everything, uh, it's a lot of fun, I'd say.
Yeah, that is one thing that they have. If you are a Husker athlete, if you wear the gear, the fans love you, right? Even
Yeah.
you know, even as a wrestler, like I would get like you would go through the tailgating and people were, you know, more than happy to welcome you if you were a Nebraska athlete. So
Mhm.
it's a cool place. But we're gonna transition, focus on another cool place, Champaign.
Yeah.
How did you end up in Champaign?
It was Mike at first. I wrestled for Mike my junior and senior year, like his club.
At the
And
factory.
yeah, I think it
That's
was called I think it was just the Poeta
Training center, yeah.
Training Center
mhm.
then. But yeah, I wrestled for him, and then so we developed a relationship, I'd say, and then he reached out to me last year to come coach here, and that was a tough decision, but I like Mike a lot, and me and Claire ended up deciding to come out here.
And you were before the hand, you were at you were coaching at Nebraska Wesleyan, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
training at the RTC at Nebraska.
Okay. So you were still competing too. Are you still competing right now?
No, not right now. No.
Okay. Now we did pass over this. I did actually. We were going a little too hard on Nebraska. We want to make it more of an Illinois podcast, but we did brush over you becoming an All American. Was that your senior season, right?
Yeah,
2022 All American, seventh place at 197 pounds. Your losses were to Jake Warner in the quarters, I believe, in the 2-0 match, and then Rocky Elam to 3-2 on the backside. So your only 2 losses are to some pretty good guys. What do you remember about that tournament?
Uh, yeah, I remember being heartbroken. That's
Yeah.
what I remember. Then after the quarters losing to Warner, uh, yeah, I remember Tervel. He's one of the coaches at Nebraska. I remember him like I was like just really down, and he could tell, and he was like talking to me, or I don't know what he was doing, but I wasn't listening or paying attention. I remember him grabbing me like by the shoulders and just shaking me, and like just saying like look at me in the eyes, look at me in the eyes. And like I looked at him, and then he basically just slapped some sense back into me and got me back to reality. And then I that was like before the blood round match. So that I remember that. And then when I won in the blood round match, I just remember like hugging the coaches, and then Robert Kokish, he was in my corner, and I remember like the last like 3 seconds of the blood round match, he sounded like he was kind of crying, and he was just like Schultz, you did it. And then yeah, then I just remember hugging him right away, and then hugging Brian Snyder and Tyler Weeda, the athletic trainer, and then going up into the stands and like hugging my family and stuff like that. And then my wife was there, so that was just really special moment.
And you were going into that tournament. You were the 3 seed, I believe.
Yeah,
Correct?
3 seed, yeah.
And I was looking back, and some of those matches throughout the year, you were upwards of what was your highest rank? 2 seed. You were ranked.
2, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and that was Max Dean was the national champ, correct?
Yeah,
At Penn State, he beat Warner in the finals.
yeah.
You were ranked throughout the year, like going 97. What were you the bigger 97? How big are you, like, size wise?
During the year, I would weigh like 201, 202 maybe. Uh, and but I would make weight after 98% of the practices, if not all of them. So I would never miss a meal or anything like that, uh, which was nice. So I would consider I felt like I was on the bigger side, but like I never cut weight.
Yeah, what was that like? What do you think that did for you not cutting weight? Like, obviously you made a decision, it sounds like, in high school to not do that. It's not the easiest thing to continue in college, obviously, with pressure from coaches, the challenge of making a varsity spot. It's not an easy thing. How did you navigate just making a decision not to cut weight?
Um, I feel like it was easier for me in college because I did 3 years of not cutting weight, and like uh in like gaining the experience, I guess you would say, or practice from telling coaches that like, hey, I won't cut weight, like I'm not gonna cut weight. Or for like summer teams, or like for Fargo, I remember like there was some Illinois coaches that wanted me to cut down to 82, and I had to tell them all like no, I won't do it. Like I'll go 95 and I'll wrestle 95, and if it means like I don't do as well at 95 as 82, like I'm okay with that. So I would say gaining the experience from telling coaches no in high school helped me have the confidence in college, I'd say.
I
So,
love
so,
that.
I, so Eric, as an assistant coach, how do you have those kinds of conversations with your athletes now? Because I know there's two different schools to that. As far as to cut weight, to not cut weight. I mean, how do you handle that conversation with the wrestlers that you're in front of day to day now?
Um, that's definitely one thing I'm still learning and navigating. So being my first year coaching, uh, but at the current like state, I kind of leave it more up to the guys, and I tell them to like really think about it, like ask any questions. I'd be willing to answer them, to really talk to their families, or whoever their close loved ones are, and like like really consider the on the pros and cons of either, and then um, I just tell them to like fully commit to and believe in whatever they decide. But like if they were asking my opinion, I'd usually lean towards not cutting weight unless it was a significant benefit for the team that they cutted weight. Then I would just be transparent about it. And if they were okay with it, then yeah, I'd be like, let's cut some weight.
So
Yeah.
what's a day like for you in the practice room right now? I mean, is there any dudes you're working with exclusively, or are you just kind of, helping
Uh,
out around the room?
During the season, I'd say I worked mostly with Luke Luffman, the heavyweight. But then I also worked with Dylan Connell a lot and Chris Moore, both of those guys quite a bit. And then I would try and wrestle Colin Kelly. He's a 74 pounder. He's a little bit small, but I don't know. I feel like over the years I've developed a pretty good spar feel, so I think it worked out. And I like wrestling him because he's a gamer. He's scrappy, and he'll get after me. So it's like it's just fun.
Well, you brought up Luke Luffman, and when I looked back at the state brackets, you beat Luke Luffman in the state tournament.
Yeah,
Has he tried to get you back for that?
yeah, he did. And we got to wrestle a match this year, and it was a lot closer, significantly closer,
Yeah,
but
I think so.
I still came out in the end. But that was funny because we would talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
So I putting the timeline together, then you would have been in school around the same time as Hayden Copas.
For who was that?
Hayden Copas, he was from Westville. Um, he and Luke wrestled in high school a couple times in the finals, I think, at least once.
Oh, did he go to Illinois?
He went to Wisconsin, and then he ended up transferring to Purdue and injured out.
Well, Luke was because you were in 2A,
Yeah,
right? You were 2A, Luke was 2A. Westville, is that 1A,
I
2A?
think they were. I think back then they might have been 2A still.
I got you. Yeah, like I said, 2016, I think I was around, I just don't remember, being at the state tournament that year. Um, well, going into that, has it been like the last year? Obviously, being an assistant coach at Champaign at Illinois this year has been a little bit of a complicated one, but what was the first year like, and how was it to start coaching at a Big Ten school?
it's been awesome. Like you said, minus like outside of wrestling, there was like some chaos, and that was a little bit stressful. But the wrestling standpoint, it was amazing. It's been everything that I dreamed of since I like decided I wanted to be a coach, and especially being at Illinois, like my parents are just 2 hours up the road, um, and like I've seen them more this year than I have maybe every year I was in Nebraska combined. So that's been awesome. And then being like I don't know, just seeing so many Illinois people that I grew up with has been awesome. Like rekindling those flames and stuff like that. It's been awesome. And then being in the Big Ten and helping these guys try to achieve, what I didn't achieve, I just think is something special and something I'm very passionate and excited about. And hopefully I can do it for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you did do a lot. You were an All-American, you're a Big Ten finalist, correct? That was another thing. So, yeah, that's a
Three, three
pretty good.
times, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good career. Um, and so so how many guys do you have getting ready for the Open and Vegas?
We have a few guys. Spencer Moore, he just graduated, but he's going to the Open. And then guys on our team, Cannon Webster and Chris Moore, they're both going to the Open. Guys that'll be back on the team next year. And then obviously Zane Richards is in Greco. And then Ryan Borsma was on the team. He's doing Greco at heavyweight. And then Marco, he was one of our RTC athletes that's in college. And I believe he's doing I think it's called juniors now, or maybe it's U17s or U20s, I mean.
U20s.
He's doing that. And then I think that's it. Might be, well, I mean, if you include Wyatt Medlin.
I got you. We can include him.
Yeah, shout out Wyatt.
Yeah. We can include him.
So Eric, were you at the Washington camp last weekend then?
I was not, no. We had like an IKWF camp thing going on
Okay. That's cool.
in the room, and plus like the college guy practice. And I'm like one of my main jobs is to wrestle with the guys. So almost every practice I'm wrestling with someone on the team. And then after that, I was able to go meet with a donor and talk to him a little bit. So that was my Saturday.
Well, you mentioned this a little bit ago about reconnecting with all the Illinois relationships that you've built over the years. Did you have any thoughts of going to Illinois after graduation? And if so, like, are you experiencing the best of both worlds now of being there and doing other things?
Yeah, I would say so. This is just unbelievable opportunity that I have, and I'm just trying to soak it in and just be the best that I can be at it.
So did you have ambitions to go to Illinois afterward? Like, was that ever a thought being
Yeah.
having, when you go through the state of Illinois, you go to Champaign every year to compete for the state tournament. And it's just a thing that you think about. So
When are you saying like for college or post?
Yeah, post high school.
I guess I thought about it a little bit, but Illinois never recruited me, so I guess it was just shut down pretty quick.
Okay.
But I think it was Mark Perry was on the staff back then. I could be wrong, but he asked for my number 3 separate occasions and then never reached out. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, it was just, yeah, I don't know. It was always something I guess I did consider, but I never had the opportunity to fully, I don't know, think about it.
I got you. Well, again, you were destined to go to Nebraska and learn swing dancing.
Yeah.
Dustin Ealer, you got to go to Nebraska, man. You gotta learn some swing dancing.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I don't think Dustin can hear us right now. But before I let you go, so I wanted to ask you about your coaching philosophy. Like, obviously you're wrestling a lot with the guys. That's a large part of, what you're doing on the day to day. But what does motivate you to be a coach in general? What's your
Man, I'm still working on that one. Currently though, my main motivation is seeing not only the team but like certain individuals, especially that I'm able to work with hands-on, develop both on and off the mat. Like, I would like to think that I hold somewhat of an impact on them, that I could benefit their lives, both like their technique skills and in mindset in wrestling, and then also off the mat, that will translate to their lives after wrestling, lasting impact. So I guess I haven't been able to see that yet because it's so early on, but that's probably my main motivation, is just positively impacting these kids' lives for the better.
Well, awesome, Eric. I like to hear that. That's a great. Dustin, do you have anything else for Eric before we let him go?
What's it like working with Hunter on a daily basis, Coach Hunter?
I love it a lot. He's pretty quiet though. Like my first like month here, I think he only said 6 words to me, and I was like, man, this guy really doesn't like me. I don't know, like I don't know what happened, but and then he warmed up to me, I guess, and he's actually really funny once he gets talking, and uh, but I would say that he's really motivated to make Illinois better, and uh, and he loves the sport of wrestling a lot. So I don't know, it's an honor to be able to work for him, and hopefully I can do that for a while.
Yeah, hopefully we can all. I mean, Hunter is a unique individual in the sense that he's been wrestling extremely hard for a very long time. If any of us can keep that type of skill throughout our years, I mean, yeah. I mean,
He was just scrapping Bird yesterday for the warm up. The warm up was like 15-ish minutes, and I don't know what sparked it, but him and Bird just started wrestling live when we started warming up, and they didn't stop until the warm up ended. And I was like, "Holy buckets, Coach, you okay? What's going on?"
yeah,
He's
My
dripping
body,
sweat.
my body hurts just thinking about it.
Yeah, I was
yeah.
like, "Dang, Coach."
Yeah, I definitely don't think anybody has logged in probably more training hours in Huff Hall than Jeremy Hunter. So he's still got it. He's a hammer, and I still hoping that he wanes down a little bit. So if I get a chance to wrestle with him, I get an opportunity to make up for some of those beatings that I've taken from him. But if he's still going with Bird, he might still be a problem.
Yeah, you might have to get him on maybe the day after he goes with Bird.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No recovery time.
no,
Yeah, I'll try that. I'll try that. Well, Eric, thanks for jumping on. Glad to meet you, and hopefully we can get you back on and kind of talk Illinois wrestling throughout the year. And yeah,
yeah.
thanks
Thank you
again.
for having me.